Only three metrics really matter if you want to make real money in real estate. I've worked on hundreds of millions of dollars worth of deals in the institutional real estate private equity space, during which time we regularly had deals that 3 to 4x in under 5 years, making tens of millions of dollars in profit. Most recently, I've exited this smaller deal just last year for a 5x return in under 2 years, over $3 million in profit. So I know a little something about doing home run deals in real estate. And I've found that all home run deals have these same three characteristics. So what are they? Most people think a great real estate deal is about the location, the cash flow you receive each year, X, Y, and Z. And those things do matter, but they're not the most important things to look at. In this video, I'll break down in detail the three most important metrics for making real money in real estate. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars, and how you can use them to make money yourself. Before I get started, if you could hit the like button, that would really help out. And if you're not already subscribed, don't forget to do that as well. Let's get into it. The first thing you have to understand is that if you want to make a lot of money in real estate, you don't do it with cash flow. This is one of the biggest misconceptions people have. Most people think you buy a property and your only return is the cash flow it spits out every year. That's part of your return. But if you want to make real money in real estate, which is what we're trying to do here, the majority of your profit's going to come from the exit. That's going to be a sale or a refinance. And in order to do that, you need to buy the property, add value, and then sell. So that takes us to our first characteristic, stabilized yield, which measures the value you've added to the deal in relation to how the market values it. Getting a high stabilized yield is how you make massive profits at exit. All right, so the first characteristic of a home run deal is getting your stabilized yield 300 basis points above the market cap rate. And I'll explain exactly what all that means in a second. For those of you who follow me on Twitter for a while, you're well versed in what stabilized yield is. Not many other people talk about it though. Stabilized yield is the post-renovation NOI, and NOI is basically just another word for EBITDA, divided by all your costs in the deal. It's by far the most important metric in real estate. Why is that? Because it shows the intrinsic cash flow of the deal for you based on all the capital you've put into the deal, and for the next buyer who's going to buy it from you based on the amount of capital they're going to be putting into the deal. I know this could be a bit confusing, so let me walk you through an example of how this works. You buy a 10-unit deal for $1 million that has an NOI of 70K. So you're buying at a 7% cap rate. You put in 100K to renovate, roughly 10K per unit, and that increases the rents you achieve, bringing the NOI up 30K from 70K to 100K. When you bought the deal for $1 million, the NOI was 70K, so the cap rate was 7%, right? Now, after renovations, the NOI is 100K, but your basis in the deal has changed as well, from $1 million to 1.1 million. So your stabilized yield becomes 100K divided by 1.1 million, or 9.1%. Yes, I'm aware we're not including transaction costs right now. I'm just doing that for the example to keep it simple. You now have a spread of 210 basis points between your stabilized yield and the market cap rate. And the market cap rate is just the average cap rate deals sell for in the market, right? Essentially, it's how the market values your property, and that spread becomes your profit. So the wider that spread gets, the more money you make. In this case, the new NOI is 100K. 100K divided by 7%, right? The market cap rate is 1.4 million. So you're into the deal for 1.1 million, and it's worth a little over 1.4 million if you were to sell it. So you've made over 300 grand. And this process is how you make real money in real estate. It's not through cash flow. In fact, the cash flow during the hold was actually really low if you think about it. Let's say you held it for 3 years and then you sold it for 1.4 million, right? So during the hold, you have the NOI of 70K, but that's not cash flow because that's before debt is accounted for. Once you account for debt, the cash flow drops to 20K a year or so, or just over 60K during the hold. Meanwhile, you made over 300K from the exit. So I really want to drill this point home. The money in real estate is made on the exit, not from the cash flow, which is why stabilized yield is such an important metric, right? When you compare it to the market cap rate, you get that spread, and that spread is really your profit. So to recap, for this metric, the stabilized yield, you want to get it 300 basis points or more over the market cap rate to get a home run deal. To give context, for a normal deal, you'd be targeting a 150 to 200 basis point spread, and that's typically what most private equity firms target. You can remember in this example, we had a 210 basis point spread, and that would have ended up roughly being a 2x on the equity in 3 years. So you want a little bit more than that. So for a home run deal, I would say you want to be targeting 300 basis points plus on your stabilized yield above the market cap rate, the average cap rate deal sell for in the market. All right, so we knocked one of the key metrics out of the way. Now we still have 2 more to go. I would never say it's guaranteed, but if you find a deal that hits these next 2 metrics as well, you can be pretty sure you have a home run deal that should at least 3x your money. So the next metric is having an entry basis below the current market basis. Let me explain what this means. Your basis is all of your costs in the deal. For multifamily, this is typically expressed as a price per unit. You have your purchase price per unit, but you also have to tack on any other costs, deal costs, renovation costs, carrying costs, etc., to get to your total basis. The market basis, on the other hand, is the average price per unit deals sell for in the market. The idea is, and this should be obvious, to have your basis be below the market basis. So if you look at comps and you see deals in the market typically sell for 100K unit, you want to be buying deals with an all-in basis below that number. Essentially, you're getting the deal for a discount. Common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people get this wrong. Right? By definition, most people don't get a discount when they buy deals. If you remember our first key metric, getting the stabilized yield 300 basis points above the market cap rate, that ensures that any new buyer, someone who's going to buy the deal from you when you sell, who looks at the deal from a cash flow perspective, will buy it. This metric, right, your entry basis below the market basis, ensures that any new buyer who looks at the deal from a comparative sales approach will buy it as well. So you're protected in both scenarios, and there are buyers who look at it both ways. This is how you can start to lock in your home run deal. There become very few scenarios where a buyer wouldn't want to pay up for your deal. And you always want to be thinking about who you're exiting to and how to be looking at the deal, as those are the people who are paying you so you generate the big return, right? That's how it's actually made. The money's made. So how can you really lock in your 3x plus return? That brings us to our final key metric, getting your exit basis below the market basis. We've already discussed what the market basis is, but we haven't discussed what your exit basis is. When you underwrite or model a deal to buy, you also model the price that you plan on selling the deal for when you exit. Your exit basis is the sale price you underwrite, whether that be 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years in the future, divided by the number of units in the deal. The reason why this metric is so important for home run deals is because it means the deal is so good that not only are you going to make money when you sell it, but the next person who buys can also buy it for a discount off the average price deal sell for in the market. And that's not even accounting for the inflation that will likely happen over that time frame. In other words, the deal is so good that both you and the next person who buy it are both going to make a lot of money. That's the clear sign of a deal that's going to 3x your money in a short time frame. So to recap, the 3 metrics you want to look out for if you want to 3x plus your money in real estate in a short time frame are: 1, stabilized yield 300 basis points above the market cap rate; 2, entry basis below market basis; 3, exit basis below market basis. If you find a deal that satisfies these 3 criteria, lock it up ASAP. Drop everything you're doing, get the deal under contract. You're going to make a lot of money. Tons of deals like this available across the country on a daily basis. People in my bootcamp close them all the time. For those of you who don't know, the Acquisitions Bootcamp is an 8-week program where you work one-on-one with me to craft an investment strategy to fit your skills, resources, and goals, and then find you a deal to fit that strategy. So it's for beginners and owners looking to scale. If you're interested in that, you can apply to that below.